Okay. From the
Why did the name of this area come to be known as Deccan?
Hyderabad Deccan, no, it's a wrong name that has been coming down from Deccan. Starting it in
It's better to be near the camera. Maybe towards the this is comfortable. Sorry, but we have to go back.
no, we have to go back again, repeat.
Yes.
You can't record it from this, which is already.
We can.
चलिए आओ अपना, go ahead.
Please tell us about the Aina Angoti.
Aina Angoti is generally worn on the thumb by a lady, and generally at the time of wedding, so that she can see the face of her husband, would-be husband, in that one, with a mirror in that it gets reflected. That is the end of it. And sometimes it is being good to see also her dressing, how she looks like. Like this is for the Aina Angoti.
What is Tinmanya?
Tinmaniya, tan means generally body, which gives glittering and covers up the body with these stones that are there, and the line of pearls, a jumble of lines. They may vary from 10 lines, 11 lines, or 2 lines, as the lady want to put on and as they like it, because the usage of pearl is there in that one, with the centerpieces of 5, 7 or 9. It all depends upon the size of the stone that is being embedded in that tinmaniya, with the hangings of pearls and emerald beads.
What is Tika?
Tika is worn on the head, which is generally signifies the sohag of a lady, and it is put on the center with a diamond or whatever it may be, and the pearl hanging is there. It gives it more attraction towards the wedding.
The Sheesh Phool.
Sheesh Phool is a South Indian ornament that has been adopted here, and that is put on the sheesh means head, on the head. On hair, we are having chand sheesh phool. One is in the shape of a chand, that is moon, and the other is just like a flower. So one is put on the other right hand side at the back, this side, back side, and the other is on the left hand side.
The Satlada.
Satlala is a ornament of 7 lines of pearls, or it may be of ruby if you have that much of collection of ruby beads or emerald beads. It may go with the costume jewelry, as I told you. But generally this Satlala is being of pearls because they are available in plenty, with a small hanging in the center lines, and the big pearls are being used in the first line, and the smaller ones, they go by gradation: first line, second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line, and seventh line. Like that it goes into the small that one, and it covers up the whole body, and above that they put on this tinmaniya and then the lacha. In between this they put on jewelry. So the wearer completes it, gets herself decorated with jewels.
The Karan Phool.
As I told you just now, the Karan Phool is Karan means kan, Phool means flower. So it's a sort of a flower that is glittering on the woman's or the wearer's ears, with a hanging below it and the pearls in it, with the two strings taking the load on the hairs.
The Lacha.
Lacha is worn round the neck, which covers up the complete band of your neck, and it may vary from size and thickness according to the neck. There may be thicker ones or there may be thinner ones. It all depends upon the wearer and the person who has ordered it for that particular lady to put on. It consists of diamonds, emeralds, rubies. They are all separate. This lacha generally goes with the costume jewelry. Nowadays they are all putting on everything that is available in the market.
The Jugni.
Jugni, as I told you, it's a small pendant or a big one with a emerald hanging below it with multiple lines of pearls. Small ones which just gets glitters. When you just as the firefly glitters, we call it jugnu. It's something like glittering in between the jewelry that is being worn.
The Ghosh Buddha.
Ghosh butta is a ornament that is put on the ears, on the top layer of the ears, here. The butta comes up and the hanging is from there. So it goes on hanging like this with diamond settings or pearls. Generally pearls are being used there. Later on it just came down to gold, and then nowadays the people in villages and other places, they put it in silver also. So it's a traditional one with the Muslim cultures, not with the Hindus.
Just to be on the safe side, I need also a repeat of Aina Anguti.
Aina Angoti, you are liking it too much, I think so. This Aina Angoti is put on the thumb of the lady who is going to be married, generally. And that mirror is there, and it is studded with diamonds or emeralds or any other stone as the wearer wants to have it. And generally the purpose of that particular ring is to see her husband or the would-be husband face in that one. And sometimes to check her adornment after putting jewelry. Just like a small, what we call it in वो आता है ना आईने का आपका देखने का what you call makeup box or something like that. It is something like a miniature mirror fit so that you can see your face.
Now we would need the notes. पांचवें तकिया चाहिए था नहीं?
नहीं
नहीं तकिया लगाए
अच्छा
लगा पीछे लगा डिस्टेंस में और एक keep it one more
सपोर्ट
नहीं बस
नहीं
ठीक
ऊपर लगाए
नहीं बस है मेरे को ठीक
चाहते तो मैं झुको करूँ स्लॉट चेयर रखो उधर
नहीं ठीक हो गया अब सही हो गया जब कंफर्टेबल नहीं लगे I'll start.
बुलाइए
So please tell us.
नहीं आवाज है गाड़ी में बुलाई लेना आवाज
काम से
So either you look into this lens here or you look at towards me.
as you say.
Oh, we can begin now. Please tell us why this area came to be known as the Deccan.
The word Hyderabad, Deccan. Deccan doesn't mean anything. It has no meaning at all. But as far as I think myself personally, that Deccan is a word utilized and has come down from Persian word. That is Daha. Daha means in Persia 10. And Khan means mines. So this is the land or Hyderabad that is called as Hyderabad Deccan. It is a place of Hyderabad, the Khan. We have it in other part of India also. Now it is in Pakistan, known as Hyderabad Sindh. So that is on the banks of river Sindhu. And here this being in the land situated of 10 mines of precious stones, diamond, rubies, sapphires, emeralds, aquamarine, plus your other metals, iron ore and aluminum oxide. We are having it in plenty in this area. So it is called as the Deccan. The area Hyderabad means Hyderabad the Deccan. So that has been converted now into Hyderabad Deccan. Is this?
Yes, that's wonderful. Please tell us how Golconda came to be known for its diamonds and eventually for the jewelry that was.
It's a very important question that you have asked me. Everybody talks of Golconda and they go on searching in the fort of Golconda. But it's a wrong thing. Actually, it was the empire of Golconda, not the fort of Golconda, because geological strata indicates that there is no bearing at all or diamonds here, but the diamonds were being traded here. Why Golconda is famous? Because it was a diamond trading center, and the cutters and the dressers, that is the lapidarians, those who cut the stones or diamonds or whatever it may be, they used to stay here, and they used to do the job of cutting and faceting the diamonds, and the trading used to take place. As it is evident and clear from the historical and the visitors of the foreign visitors from China and French Musée Tavernier and other visitors, those who have come down, and they have seen this area, and they have written down in their own books as the memoirs that they have visited Golconda Fort, it was being traded down, and the diamonds used to get exchanged, and the people, those who were interested, they used to buy or exchange. Everything was there. So this became a very important center for diamond trading. With diamond, there was another important thing for the pearls. Arabs used to bring pearls from Middle East, and they used to sell here, as well as the Hindu kingdom of Krishna Devaraya in Hampi with horses. They used to sell the horses and pearls, what they used to get them from there, in exchange for diamond and others. Even Chinese visitors, those who have come down by the China Silk Route, as it is known as, they used to come down to this place, and they used to trade. It's a very old industry, especially in this part of the country, in South India, where you call it so-called Golconda. And this empire extended right up from the period of Qutub Shahi, as it is being well marked, and above the Doab, that is of Raichur Doab we call it, from that place to the fort of Golconda and beyond that limit. And this is an outcrop of the Kakatiyas of Warangal kingdom, a small hamlet in those days under the Kakatiyas, which sprang up immediately after the fall of the Kakatiyas, Warangal Empire. So these mines were once under the Kakatiyas of Warangal, which were just under their control, but in the invasions of the Muslims that have taken place from time to time, they have left the garrison there. For instance, I'll give you one small simple instance, that of Kondapalli fort, which is on the way to Vijayawada. Near that Kondapalli fort, in the backside of the hillock, that is the fort, we are having a small village by name as Parital. That Parital was worked as late as 1890 by one Sardar Dilerun Mulk of Hyderabad, as known as Hyderabad, under the name of Hyderabad Diamond Mining Company, which excavated the material. But later on, that mines came to a closure because the Britishers never wanted it that these mines should be exploited, so that they may stand in competition with the African workings of their mines, which were being worked in Africa and in Brazil. So they gave an ultimatum that if you are going to work this thing, we are going to take away that area from you. Anyway, the Nizam was there and he stopped the mining, and everything got closure. Even to this day, the old workings are there. You can go and see them, and the people find the diamonds there, but not of that good quality, but of small as well as the industrial variety of diamonds are being mined there. Nearby that area, we are having one more area known as Kollur, which is on the bank of river Krishna. That is where the river Krishna has taken a bent like that of a sickle. So in Telugu they call it Kodavatti Kallu. So there, if you just go and study the area there, you will be seeing an area at an elevated point. At that time, the level of Krishna was at that flow, when it was in floods. In those days, I am talking of quite back. What happened, the diamonds that got erupted from the volcanic pipe rocks, they came down under the flow and they got stuck up with the white matrix, what we call it a pegmatitic or something like that. But it is in the secondary deposits, and the big diamonds are found there because they got stuck up when the mountain is there. So they got banged and they got stuck up, and this salt that was present in the water, that had got a conglomeratic formation. So there in that Kollur mines, only 4 feet of layer is, you can see, very visible. That 4 feet of layer was worked, and these people they used to exploit. Where the big large diamonds, say of Kohinoor, and so many other diamonds that are there, it has been mentioned. And about 60,000 laborers were employed there in that area, and the cartloads of diamonds were being produced and mined. Even if you go there in this area, now it is being abandoned, everything is closed. After the reading of the letter by Earl Marshal of England in 1667, the British government came to the conclusion, in order to work their mines of South Africa and Brazil, they should stop this Golconda diamond area. Unless and until it is not being stopped, we can't stand in competition. So slowly, as and when, later on in the 17th and in the 18th century, these people, they came down in the name of traders. Slowly, as they began conquering, so they brought it under their control. In 1860, to be very precise, after the East India Company came to a closure and the empire was being formed, the Queen was made the head of it. And everything belonged to the British Empire. And after that, nothing has been done. They are all lying idle. Mass massacre has taken place that nobody should work. Not only of Kollur, in other places of Junagiri, Yerragudi and Ustapilli, you will find deserted villages. They are there. And if you want to see the photographs, I can just show them, some of them, and the old working. And in that Kollur area, why I am giving importance there? Because it has come out with a large pieces of diamonds, which are famous all over the world now, and they are being displayed in the museums as far as possible. And even to this day, it is having a lot of potentiality. In those days, they used to work with hand. Today, when the mechanical force is being applied and they are being mined, I think there is no shortage of anything as far as the India is concerned in wealth and in money. If Africa can produce about 300 carats diamond, we can produce 500 carats. There is nothing wrong, because our land is full of that one. We are sitting on the land of plenty, getting nothing from last 200 years. How long you want that we should continue like this?
So please,
The goal.
you were telling us that the sixth Nizam is very interested in jewelry and he patronized the
Yes.
jewelers here.
Yes.
Tell us about how jewelry came to be, came to grow in itself as a subject in itself.
Now, as you know, Hyderabad is having a typical culture. And it all depends upon the economic condition of a country or a state or a man, how he lives. So in those days, when we were having everything with us, money was there. I may just refer it to the Nizam the Sixth. Nizam the Sixth has a special taste. He is a very benevolent king. And he used to mingle with every caste community people without having any distinction of them. That this festival it should not be attained, that festival should. He used to participate and used to get encouragement. And used to always encourage everybody in their festivities, so that he should know that he should be among his people. He never wanted to be away from the people. And what best he could get from one community or from another community, he used to adopt it, only the good part of it. So he had a taste for that one. So he found out a new way, because as he was having a very fine taste of art and literature, similarly for the jewelry, he opened a new chapter altogether, what we call it sarapa, as a costume jewelry in those days. As I already mentioned of the sarapa in detail, it was used to cover up the whole thing. And there again the thematics are there, themes are there, which season we should be put on. See, if I say something like this, people will be just saying what this he is talking. But actually it is that. If at all you want to enjoy the real value of the jewelry, so a man or a lady has to be decorated like that. And according to the graha, again let me come down, According to the Graha, if a lady is passing through Buddha Graha, she should put on green emerald. So he was so in touch with the learned astrologers and the learned Jyotish, so the costume jewelry used to be flourishing. Now coral. Coral doesn't have any value, but he wanted to have it because it is representing Mars. Shukra, diamond. Ruby, sapphire. Ruby is your, what do you call this? Manik. Like Shani. Likewise, if suppose you presume certain things, nowadays it is not possible to have all these things, but if you just presume it, have an idea. If your whole body is being covered with that type of gemstones and with that type of they are putting it on, how will you behave? With a costume, you are already a changed man and you are protected with that. So Mir Mahbub Ali Khan, the Nizam the Sixth, used to order and used to keep always his jewelers busy, giving employment. With our family also, he did the same thing. In Karwan, where we used to stay there, he used to give us gold. In order to have the safety for that one, he has provided a police station just by our house. Because in those days, the dacoits and all those things, they were there with the full police protection. And we were being accounted for that so many jewelry has to be prepared. And my grandfather, my uncle, everybody were there busy with all these things and preparing different types of jewelry and used to supply them. As and when the call used to come from the Nizam, from time to time. Even at the dead of night also, if he wants to, he could get the complete. That is why the Karwan has been brought, being a trading center there, this one, and the people used to come there, used to buy them. There again we were having that enamel work. Now if I want to ask you one question, I think most of the people will not be in a position to answer that question. Why the enamel is being done in the back of the jewelry? Think it. You will not find the answer. The real thing and the crux is there. Why the enamel is being done on the jewelry, let it be of Mughal or let it be of any place, it is because the ladies or the persons, those who used to put on their costume, their dresses, were made of pure silk, all silky. But if the slightest prick is there of the gold or a metal, that used to bring the thread long way off. So before a jewelry is being finally prepared, the goldsmith used to check up with the enamels, with the enameler, the person who was doing it, whether that thread is coming or not. If it is not coming, then they used to say this jewelry piece is okay. Otherwise, forget about it. But this was the so delicate work, they used to do it and perform it. And even I remember up to 50, 60 years back, we used to do the same thing. But later on, now it has become so commercial that they don't understand why they enamel. They simply go by glamour of enamel, color of enamel, but why it has been done, nobody knows. Again here we are having, so sorry, I'm just getting out of my way, I'm just, in Mughal period, we call it, the initial Mughal period was having enameling with the theme that only the flora should be used because it is against Quran if they use any fauna or a man. So they only used to have at the back of the designing of a floral design. So we can say that this is the initial and the early period of Mughal enamel and the jewelry. And later on, after Deen-e-Ilahi, the formation of the Akbar's that one, it has come, it had a combination. The fauna was introduced. Flora was already there. Now the fauna was also introduced in the wearing. So after fauna, what happened? It just came into a Hindu culture. So there we see the complete culture, the union of the Indian as well as your Mughal influence. Now coming back to this point here again, in Hyderabad, we are having enamel, people doing it on different types of gold. Say if a pure gold is there, if they want to have enamel, so they can do it. There was nothing, but there should be a perfect one. There should be something. Without him, nothing, no jewelry has been prepared or manufactured. Now, for instance, at the time of the birth of a child, the parents used to have some gold chain or something like that, or a spoon, or at the time of feeding of milk, or when the boy child begins to grow, so different types of ornaments were being prepared. A small size, we call it bachkani, with a golden spoon or something as per the status of the family was there. And after then Yagyopavit. In Hindus they just put on this Yagyopavit. They used to have a gold chain or a Yagya, that janoi, and a patra, gold patra for bhiksha and all this. They were all there. Now at the time of engagement, that particular girl's jewelry was to be prepared. Boy was also being, the jewelry was being prepared for that particular reason. I call it them a thematic, because the certain jewelry has been manufactured for that particular person and for that particular day. So there we come across the thematics. Even in the marriages also, the jewelry that was being manufactured was to be tested, whether this jewelry will look good on that girl or not. On the boy it will be okay or not. Will it symbolize the status of that family or not? Like that. So as and when the time went on, the people or the jewelers, generally these jewelry were designed by the ladies at the home itself only. Goldsmiths were called, and they were being instructed to prepare this type of jewelry. So we are having then again thematic. Nowadays what we are getting in the market, it is only mass production. Alright, you are having this thing, we buy it. Whether it is coming or suiting your neck or not, whether your head or not, whether it is proportionate or not, everything is out. And the people, they are just began making money. Wait, so much diamond is there, so much gold is there, labor itna laga sir. Okay, I like it, I take it. कुछ बाकी है, something more to be added?
For the sarapa, perhaps for gents separately.
Pardon?
For the gents and the ladies separately.
Sarapa. Ladies and gents sarapa was being prepared in those days also. The men also used to put on the jewelry, right up from, on turban they used to have sarpej or sirpatti, then turra. After turra they used to have in the generally, being martial, as the gents are always martial and they are big, stout, and they are not delicate as that of lady. So they used to have the big beads or pearls or something, a necklace-like thing, and the lada we call them, single line or double line with a huge pendant hanging in it. And then we call it baglus, or a band for putting on the sword and the belt, we call it, for the stiff putting on sherwani or the choga or whatever it may be, they used to have it. And angushtari. That was the thing for the gents. And for the ladies, and their daggers were also very important, very well decorated. They are also again the thematic daggers and swords, warheads, as we call it in those days. This was a prestigious question. Some used to have it with jade handles, some with ordinary gold handles, some with enamel, like the different types of bones, ivory, everything was being used in order to decorate their weapon. Then for the ladies, as I mentioned, I have given the complete list. You can just go through it.
We go.
Now Nizam the
Just
seventh.
constructed Hyderabadi jewelry for wearing on different dresses.
But
Wearing on for dresses, different dresses, the sherwani.
no, I have forgotten to inform you about Nizam the seventh also.
Okay.
After Nizam the sixth is his patronage. Actually the jewelry that was being manufactured in our family by the, I should say, by the full cooperation and encouragement of the Nizam the sixth. So most of the jewelers had come down here from outside Hyderabad. They settled down here and they adopted the method, and that type of jewelry was being manufactured and supplied to the noblemen and to the king himself and his palaces and the other people who adopted this thing. With slight changes they have began preparing this thing. In Hyderabad jewelry we are having, one is your royal jewelry, the second is nobleman's jewelry, which is lesser costly in that one. The subject is nearby this thing. But in between this, what happened? The Hindus, those who were here, they adopted certain thing and included their own cultural that thing in that one, apart from the Islamic. Now the third one is there, which is a low class, what we call it, a poor people. They also used to have jewelry, but according to their status. It may be in silver or a little silver. We call it them as ghat, which has a little of gold and more of silver. And in that, the king or the noble, as I told you, thematic ones, they were having these sarapa. For the king, at the time of death of the king, they used to adorn him with a half set of sarapa. That is, half sarpej, half baglus. It was like that, the complete half, because the king is no more, but he is being going with the honor. So we call it half sarapa. Then we have it Nazrani jewelry. That Nazrani jewelry was of cheap material, which they used to give it to the king or to the noble to whom they used to visit by the people as a nazar, sarkar ke nazar hai. Like that, they used to be present. It was generally in silver or in cheap quality gold. But it doesn't used to have a very good class of work, of enamel or whatever it may be, but it is known as Nazrani, as exchange. Later on it turned out to be a coin or a gold coin or something like that. So this type of jewelry which we are having it, with what we have seen in different types of presentation was artifacts also that were being used daily in their own life, living. Now regarding Nizam the 7th, Nawab Mir Usman Ali Khan, after the death of Nawab Mir Usman Ali Khan, the Nizam the 6th, Nawab Mir Usman Ali Khan was a collector of jewelry, as I should call him, as a collector of wealth. He was having a different taste and a charm for acquiring the jewelry, which he used to do it now and then, every time. So he always used to call our family members, those who were present in those days, and they used to go and offer what used to be of his service in supplying jewelry. But in 1938-39, especially in 1936, when the world crisis of economy had taken place, and there was no buyer in India at that time, Nizam VII was the only king who came to the rescue of the jewelers, I should say, of all over India. Delhi, Madras, Calcutta, Bombay, whatever it may be, they had come down. They wanted to sell their material, but it was not being sold. So ultimately when he came down to Hyderabad, contacted the jewelers, those who were very near to the Nizam, and he used to buy them. And his purchases were, I should say, very reasonable in those days. And the pearls that used to come down from Middle East by the Arabs via Bombay, and the Arabs used to sell it. And most of our family used to supply it in the shape of jewelry, of pearls, emerald, ruby, earrings and all. And he used to buy in trays, no question of only 1 or 2 years, samajh mein aaya, buy one, nothing doing, only full tray. That is the end of it. You'll get this much. Okay, sir. So he was a collector, I should say, a different type of collector, accumulation of beautiful jewelry. And he has it. I don't know what has happened now, but at that time it was there. And in 1938-39, the diamond, flat diamonds I'm talking, were being sold for about, say, 2 carats, flat diamond, for 35 rupees a carat. You won't believe it. We have purchased it. And we supplied it to the Devdi, that is the Nizam, in the form of jewelry. That was according to his taste, in the shape of lacha, earrings and all those things. At that time, jewelry was not that so costly as we find it today. Those pieces, if today they will go in lakhs and crores. First of all, we can't see those pieces now. They have gone out. Either they have been destroyed, or they have been cut into a cut stone, or they have been exported out. So this is the thing, and the Nizam had come at that time and saved the jewelers at that time in 38-39 by purchasing lot of jewelry, because at that time it was there. Again, one wonderful thing that has happened and taken shape, that was in 1952-53. Nizam, after police action, the amalgamation of the Hyderabad state in the Indian Union, the position was quite different. He just wanted to sell some of the jewelries. So 2 or 3 trays, kishti we call them, he put on sale. So at that time the jewelers, those nearby jewelers, they purchased it, and people and the jewelers from all over India had come down, from Delhi, Madras, Bombay, Calcutta, everybody, big jewelers had come down, and they had just broken all the pieces, and that was all, you won't believe me, they are being eaten away by the white ants. Only the thread, not the stones, huh? Only the threads. So that was being cleaned and washed, and the pearl at that time was so much there. And the people don't know, everybody, jewelers used to reject it, so we are not interested in buying pearls. So at that time, one of our friends now, I should say, came out with an article in Femina that this is a good buy of pearls in Hyderabad. So this Hyderabad pearl, the people had used to come down after going through that article. They had come down to Hyderabad, they purchased it, and they were quite happy when compared to the other place. So that chain continued, and it is continuing even to this day also. Though Hyderabad is not a pearl fishing center, we don't have any pearl fisheries here, we don't have anything, but again it is known as Hyderabad pearls. The important thing in this is that the people or the jewelers of Hyderabad have maintained the tradition in supplying to the Indian market pearls related from any part of the world. It is from China or Japan or any other part. They bring them here, but it comes through Bombay. Now they are getting it directly as per the government policy, and when they are relaxed the position, government, so they are getting it and they are selling it in the, after treatment to the pearls, cleaning them, they are selling it in the market, and that is known as Hyderabad pearls.
So typical of Hyderabadi jewelry, what are the things that stand out that make it so very typical of Hyderabad?
If you just put on the complete sarapa, then you will know what is Hyderabadi and what is Bengali. That is, what is your Lucknowi, what is your Delhi jewelry, what is your Rajasthani jewelry. There you will find it out. The difference, because if you want me to explain the whole thing, it will not be possible for me unless and until you don't have the complete picture of it before you in comparative study. The jewelry of Pounds is quite different. Lucknow is quite different because there is that variation, as I told you, it depends upon the thematics and the themes of how a nobleman or a person got it prepared. For what purpose? Without any purpose, nothing can be prepared. If you want to have an angoti or ring, you can have only a ring. But you can't go in for a necklace. So there are persons who just wanted to go, no, this will go with this will go with this will go with this. Everything will be okay. So Hyderabad jewelry means it contains everything which is having the influence of Telangana, Marathwada and Karnataka. Because it used to comprise of the three language speaking people. Which is having the influence in Karnataka, if you just see, and in part of Marathwada, you feel that the Krishna Deva, that is your South Indian effect in that one. But in Telangana, local influence, that of Warangal, Mahbubnagar, Karimnagar, that are the local things, got influenced by the Islamic trend. So that change has taken place. And especially Telugu people here, this Gutta Pusal we call it. That Gutta Pusal is a typical Hyderabadi one. But that is from your Telangana side. There are different types of other jewelry that it becomes very difficult for a man to explain it. You go on explaining it, there won't be any end to it. And they used to have this Jadavi shoes also, Pazi, ladies, Jadavi shoes. That is shoes studded with diamonds, velvet, and with the pearls lining and everything. Masnad, for where they used to sit for the bench, and they used to have it. All studded with gemstones, prepared, manufactured, and studded with pearls all round it border. Like that it was. Then the dresses of the boys, ladies, dupatta. A lady having a dupatta, we call it khada dupatta. That khada dupatta is studded with the diamonds and pearls. So you can imagine that one. How the greatness and how the importance of jewelry gathered here, and they appreciated it and they patronized it. And where the patronizing is there, everything will come up, because you may be giving me some more idea, though I may not be having it. You will be following it, you will be giving me encouragement. Okay, if the encouragement is there, everything is there. If there is no encouragement, forget about it. That is the end of it. Today what we see in the market is a bulk demand for the cut diamonds. They don't have any traditional jewelry now. Why? Either you see gold, no stones. If the stones are there, the gold is too much. So it should be proportionate one. That proportion is absent today in the today's manufacturing of jewelry. Now what they are doing in Gujarat and Rajasthan and Bikaner and other places, they are coming back to that old pieces where they give more importance to the stones, enamel, and gold will be less. And they want to make quick buck. So these manufacturings are taking place. The cost of it is very high. Only few people can afford, those who want to go in for that one. This one is there. And in Hyderabad we are having 3 types of setting of stones. One is Kundan, second is Pachi, and the third is prong setting. These 3, Kundan, as you know, it is closed from the back, and then Kundan work, that is being bounded by the gold, pure gold leaf, and then we are having Pachi, where the socket is being prepared for the stone to put in, and they punch it. That we call it Pachi. And then the third one is the prongs, Kata, that hold the stone in there. And different types of that. Now we are having the influence of more Western than our own Indian. Or this. So this is a Hyderabad having a long culture behind it, and it becomes very difficult for me to explain in that detail. Because if something is there, an article is there, then I can explain, okay, this is this period, this is this period.
I think we've covered all the points that we needed to take out from you. I think everything that we wanted. From the Nizam's jewelry,
And Sherwani.
pearls, the diamonds, and Hyderabadi jewelry. I think all the 4 points that we wanted to have.
Better we revive this whole thing again. That will be doing a very omen service to the people of Hyderabad and to the culture of India, I should say, because Hyderabad culture is altogether quite different. This we had a discussion long back in our associations also. The Hyderabad culture, how to safeguard it, because people are forgetting about what that culture is. They wanted to have it as a Ganga Jamni culture. My dear sir, it is not Ganga Jamni, it is Triveni Sangam culture. Karnataka, Marathwada and Telangana. So we are having a combination of that. So this culture is simply disappearing, slowly. We don't know where we are going to land. We don't know. Very sad part of it. Which has come down as an essence from the Mughal period right up from there. A drop and drop and drop and drop of only good morals and essence had come down. But within these 50 years, everything is gone. We can't say that this is our culture. And in last, I just want to just bring it to your notice that if the government, again I have to come into the government, if they just give it open to the people for the working of minds and the encouragement, no doubt we don't want any money, simply give us permission that you can do by giving this much of amount, a nominal amount, because let us stand on our own legs. Let the people of India stand on their own legs. Let the region where the things are being found, let them stand on their own legs. Let there not be any tribal or let there not be any of these classifications. If there are tribals are there, let them also come here. We will guide them. Let them work. Let them on. Be happy. Let them be happy, you be happy, and let the trade be happy. So that again the old golden days of the so-called Golconda period will revive again. And by God's grace, and our land is so much full of wealth that no Indian can say that they are poor. They are all, from my point of view, they are all multimillionaires.